If you can't fix it silent for when we
let me tell you how much that I love you. Let me tell you, me once it. Let me tell you how much that I love you. You found me no search. It's like you knew that inside I was hurting. I was so young, stood no chance. But you gave me a shot at a romance. I feel like you were like an angel sent to bring me life. Now that I'm with you, me one say that me love it, that me love it, that me love. Hey, me love go one day, wonder. Without my baby, without me love, without me love. And no dance and sing and a ting, because you make my life complete. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I can't believe that this is for me. Oh yeah. Chada, 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 chada. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. Chada, 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 chada. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. I've never felt this way. So when they ask us, say, oh yeah, we're going all the way. Tell me we happy, love you all the time and things. Sometimes I wonder if the thing could cut us under, to get under, handle. With your love and my life control that I lay down my life this way. Do anything to make you stay. All of the blessings they come my way, and all the bad things they turn away. Sometimes life is such a scare. Your love gives me the strength to bear.
However,
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, it's for me. Greetings, family. Greetings. So listen, we're having a discussion this rising, and I'm sitting here with Malika and her cousin Tamika and Marshall, and we're sitting here having a discussion about like family and slavery and all these different things. And Malika's given, some information, and we're talking. And as she's talking, the spirit is talking. And the spirit is saying, because we're talking about like lynching and, hanging. And spirit said, isn't it crazy? Trees are living beings. The grass, the ground, they're living beings. The earth is a living being. And so if the trees are living beings, which they are because I hug them, I'm a tree hugger, and now you have hung people in there and killed them, you have essentially made the trees murderers. You've made them murderers. And they don't agree to that. And I believe that's what also is throwing some things out of alignment. Because when you spill the blood into the ground upon a living thing, and they're absorbing that, they're absorbing the energy. And the trees have feelings and emotions, and you've now made them killers.
she just said that's why the earth is so angry.
It's so angry.
It's not global warming. The earth is angry.
It's angry.
And then even then, we keep giving. What's the one thing? I study psychopaths a lot, right? Serial killers. So what's the one thing that they get mad at the police for when credit is given to something else? So even in Mother Nature reacting in the way that it's acting, we still giving credit to something outside of the
Exactly.
greatest thing, which is us,
Mm-hmm.
Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
We still giving credit to these beings that
Right.
Because we are Mother Nature.
They're saying,
Right.
oh, it's global
Oh, it's
warming, they're
them, it's
doing
them,
this.
they're doing
No,
it.
it's them tired.
Or
Like,
the earth could just be mad as hell at these
yeah,
humans on some
too
human
much
shit
blood
because it's
is
spilling.
Right.
Right.
They're angry. And this
Ooh-wee.
global warming, it's getting hot out. It's like right now, the same temperature up north is right now in the south.
Right.
That's never. You think that you leave in the south?
Christmas
north
is
is coming
summer.
out.
Summer is
Yeah.
Christmas. That
Yeah.
alone.
For it to go from winter to summer, and y'all talking about global
We
warming.
talked about that
No.
in the world reading.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
earth is angry. Too much blood in the soil, so of course it's gonna grow what? Hate.
Yeah. Because what else could it grow?
What's gonna grow? It's not love. It's
Mhm.
not peace. And as much as we
It's
cut the grass,
damaging.
it's
With her saying that, that connects me even to the deities that you work with.
Mm-hmm.
Because more than anything, my greatest love is Mother Nature.
Yes.
Mhm, of course.
However, we know that Mother Nature is capable of growing hate based on what it's fed.
What,
Mm-hmm.
What do
what
you
is
always
it fed?
teach us about Baphomet?
Mm.
What
He's
do you always
programmed
Right.
to be whatever it is.
And even Metatron, when we spoke about the music, these beings
They
want
can
to
be
fed
programmed.
something different.
They do.
Mhm.
And the agenda is to convince us that stay away from these
Stay
things.
away from these
things.
Polarity, stay away from polarity. All of those things. Like, no, it can only be ever good. Yeah, well, when I stayed good, you took advantage of me. You
That's right.
pillaged me,
And they knew that.
You tore me to shreds. But when I found out that I had an anger in me too that I could tap
Tap
into,
into.
And utilize
I
it.
was able to step into my own. But if that balance isn't there, then what is?
Yeah. Because you got to have balance.
Right.
Have
It is a must to have it.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
This is-
Mhm.
Ooh,
The
you gonna make me
elements
want to
are
go
living.
outside and just go do a
We
park.
gonna lay in the
Yeah,
grass.
put your feet in the grass, you know.
Listen, now and then we're about to go to the beach,
Oh, we are good.
and after we eat, go to the beach, and just this is why it's important for people to go out to the ocean, to the lake, to the grass, to the trees, and to Mother Nature and show it love
To
because right
balance
now
out the
there's
hate.
too much hate growing from the soil.
Mhm.
So it's just like a baby, the new growth. We love on you, baby. Come on.
You know what? The last two times
Roll
I
in the
went
grass.
to the ocean, I did not want to leave. When
You
the
know-
time we went, I did not want. Like it's just so.
Because
I didn't want to leave.
we are our DNA. Our DNA is our blood. If we're putting our blood into the soil, like we're also connected in there. So it's so much energy. Just like
Mm-hmm.
And we giving back because, of course, everybody's buried in the ground.
yeah,
So it's just
you
like
constantly feeding
we're
it.
feeding it, but what are we doing? We're tearing it down.
We're not loving it.
But see, this is where, okay, it's good that we speak on these things,
Mhm.
but this is what I've been saying with music. When we speak on it, we're so focused on the knots.
Right,
We only talk about the knots for 5 hours, so we're tired, and we never talk about the yes.
right.
The good.
How can we make the
So we also have to think about those of us who are doing the work, who are taking the food from the altars and feeding it to the ground
yes?
when we're done, who are taking their crystals and putting crystals in the grass or the star. So those are speaking on too, so that other people to balance it, because there's always going to be hate.
No matter what.
It's always going to be fed to it, but if we, as the ones who have the capability to move in and balance that out, or maybe even overtake, you know,
Mhm.
The season says that too.
if we're not speaking on what we can do and teaching each other, because I noticed that with a lot of people that just don't know, and they're like, where do I start? They get these long, overdrawn speeches
For
and
nothing.
these really in-depth things that they're not ready to receive it yet.
In your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is
Spirit says that even when you're saying the seasons are made up by their machines because everything was tropical
Right.
and beautiful, and they've even made the elements angry with that.
Yes. It's
Because-
supposed to let just flow.
It's supposed to ebb and flow.
However it goes. And that's why right now,
So the Orisha are upset.
Yeah.
I whole goosebumps. Like y'all go off with the reaches because that's where I'm at right now. And now the more I study about it, it's just like the earth is just doing what it's doing because they tired of y'all trying to control.
I love that.
And
They're upset.
They're upset.
that connects because you know me and astral beings.
Yes.
You ain't got to tell me no different. I know
Which
my
are
family.
Orishas. Yeah.
After speaking with you, Ro and I have left the house, and I have said we'll be back later because now I've come into my enlightenment, and I realize that I can connect
Mm-hmm.
mentally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so connected with this grand being that they have to capture and study underground somewhere that's hidden from us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so connected. All I have to do is think of you, and you're there already in my protection.
Period.
Yeah.
And that shows on the video where I felt like somebody was listening in. I called my friend. I said, they're taking notes. I have to be careful, and I don't care.
Always
if I sound
watching.
crazy.
Always listening.
Right. And what happened was the lights, when I went to go get my Amazon package at night, the lights cut off on the balcony. And I called my warrior. I called my Shango.
Shango.
Hey,
Yes.
I called him down, and he came down, and he opened the door. As soon as he did, it flickered and it turned back on. But on the Ring doorbell, all you see are orbs everywhere. Hundreds of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they stayed there and did not leave and protected my front door of my house until Elijah ordered food and the Uber person dropped it off, and then you see them all just disappear. So I'm that connected, right? With that great being that goes,
There you go.
that accepted, that accepted.
Because you've been here.
Because even the dream that I had when I went into the sun, and I came out of the sun with gold around me, I thought I was going to burn alive, and then it shot me up to space. And the moon, it had the stars turned into butterflies, took me to the moon, and they invited me on. And then beings were
I had
there.
a dream Toddy did that. She shot up
Yeah.
twice. I kept saying, what?
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was
Like, where you
under.
going?
But see, the funny part about that is it started under a tree. And a lot of times when people have these visions, it's a big grass field and a tree
Yeah.
of life.
Yeah.
And you see them use it in the genome movies. When they have,
yes.
when they get to that final place of peace, it's a big field and this beautiful
Yes.
tree.
Yes.
Right? So I'm sitting under there, and that's when I started floating, and I shot up. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna burn to death, human shit. And so I went through it, and it was cooling, and it calmed me down. And that's when I went up there. But when the moon invited me in, I thought I was seeing a building. And I remember touching the floor like this, and it was as soft as this. And I was like, the moon's supposed to be hard. I woke up doing this. Because what happened was the building that I saw was actually beings, but they were so huge, I thought that these were buildings. And they had telepathically let me know, whenever you want to come back, this is your home. And right. My
I
daughter
dreamt
said,
that I lived underwater several times.
Ro did it. He wanted to talk to you about that too. They
Really?
took him underwater and they showed him the school, and they were all kids down there, and they were learning how to use certain things to do what they needed to do. And I said, everyone tells me your daughter is connected to Atlantis. When she brought me the selenite, and she said, Mommy, we use this for this, and we use this crystal for this. And I'm like, you teaching me about crystals.
Right.
And she was like, my brother needs this one. Let me go take it to him. And then she came and she touched my forehead. She said, this is where my friend lives. And he sees in all purple. She knows nothing about the chakras at this age. She sees in all purple. And I mean, she said he sees in all purple. And she said, this is who gives me my messages. And he says that you're doing a great job as a mommy. And I started like getting emotional. And I said, well, how do you get the messages? It's like how you get text messages on your phone, Mommy. It's like a download.
Babies. You hear me?
Let me tell you.
Babies.
This goes back to the conversation we then had of what if we are placed here, which we are, for a purpose and a reason. We know they talk about star seeds and not having the full capacity of understanding you've been here before, because if you did, you wouldn't do your service that you're coming here for.
Right.
What if our connection to these beings was them judging our charge? You know, because you can't plug us back up like you can a phone. You can plug yourself back in. You can disconnect to reconnect. You can do retreats like this. You can benefit in that manner and get a bit of a recharge. But as far as your hope for humanity, there's not really another plug-in back for that. And I was telling Quartita the other day, what if they are studying our level of depletion to figure out if this is worth keeping?
Wow.
Well put, Malika.
It's scary for me, but at the same time, I am so hopeless
Yeah.
because of the efforts.
That reminds me of the movie, Malika, The Forgotten,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
where they're trying to see if they can make humans forget their children.
Yeah. Oh,
I've never
yes.
seen that.
If they can
Yes.
erase them from your mind,
From your
will you
mind.
forget them?
Yes.
Will there be a disconnect?
Yes.
Or are your souls forever connected? Will you?
Connected.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, there's a rebel.
And she always remembered,
Yeah.
even when they took all of her memories, she still remembered the pregnancy, was still brought to life.
And they try to make it seem like she's crazy.
But she couldn't forget the life.
Because that life being is always connected to you.
I just watched
a movie with Ro. I'm gonna find the name of it. Nicolas Cage is in it, and he has a son, and
The code.
I don't think it's. There's a letter that a little girl. So the little girl is in school.
The knowing.
The
Yes,
right.
That's what it
Yes.
is.
And they put the capsule,
The
time
capsule, yep.
But do you see at the end? I cried. Not the part where he was saying goodbye to his son. I was like, if you don't put that boy on that bus and just go deal with your past and you've lived your life, come on.
Yeah.
It's about creating a new generation now that maybe can do it better than us because, bro, we are sick of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if there's a better version, let it happen. I didn't cry at that part. I cried when they showed the view from space.
Yes.
And I saw all of the shuttles,
Mm-hmm.
all of the spaceships taking off from different locations with all of these babies.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what my golden is like in her experience. And I imagine if the world was recreated with just them. Oh my goodness.
Mm.
A pair.
The insight that my son has at 18.
But how many times have they done it? They've
Right.
done it.
Right.
Yeah.
Counterparts.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And we always forget. Right. Right. Like, yeah, right. We're fucking mice in the maze.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find our way.
But the funny thing is, we think we the baddest.
They're
fucking mice
watching.
in the
Right.
world. You
Wow.
couldn't tell us we were mice. You think that we all are under
Which
the
is
impression
why
that
we're in
lions.
assimilation.
Right. We think we're the greatest beings ever.
Somebody was just talking about that too, with the people who are on that level spiritually, who are out here on everybody and just think they know it all. Run from them people.
I can attest to that. I can attest because we've talked about that.
Yeah.
The reason why, you know how many I've been around.
Right.
You don't
That's
see
why I don't go.
None of them are here except for Quantita.
Right. Yeah.
None of them are in my life anymore except, and
Mhm.
we talk about it. It's the humility behind it.
Are you doing it?
I'm just gonna share with you what feeds me. I'm not begging you to stay. As a matter of fact, you'll do me a favor if you go because people that I pour into treat me fucked up every time.
Ooh, Lord, I'm about to drop.
However,
delete
I
it.
just
What
said
is
that. Every time I pour into someone, I'm telling you, it's like it spills out. And the fucked up shit comes out. Like I'm pouring into you and
But you
it just
giving the fucked up
reveals,
part of
yes,
you.
it
Right,
reveals
right.
all of the nastiness that you had
Oh,
towards
y'all
me.
just confirmed this shit. I was just like, today I'm about to delete a few people, but because of I don't want to look like this and I don't want to look like that, but I poured into you.
Yeah.
I poured into you.
Yeah.
Poured into you, and you turn around and hate me for what?
For
what?
Because people love chaos. They don't know how to get out of their own way. If you treat them, that's right. If you give them something they've never had, I don't know what that is. You don't love me. I need you to slap me. Because that's what my love has been like.
I mean, it's just, it happened 3 times, just back to back to back. And that's why it's like 3 people that are not here were filled with 3 people that is going to be uplifting.
So the challenge in that, though,
That was deep.
The
Mm-hmm.
challenge in that, there's no cousin, is do you take the time to go and block them or do you block yourself from what you keep putting
Come
yourself
on.
in?
Yeah.
That part.
So I don't even care enough to go look for you to block you because now I'm expending even more energy.
Because
in your
when you
direction.
come back
That's
to
what I
me,
keep thinking in my head.
Right.
So
you're
that's
going to
why
watch
it's
the
just
beauty.
like- Right.
Yeah.
So why? It's like, I'm not going to do that this time.
I had people tell me I'm too positive. You too positive.
Yes.
You always nice. You always.
What's wrong?
Ain't
with
nobody
you?
that happy.
Looking for the bad.
It's okay.
Actually annoyed.
It's
You want me to
like,
say
I
something
can't
rude?
change.
Like,
I can't change that.
Like, how you gonna be mad at me for loving you the way love is supposed to be?
supposed to feel.
That's because I feel like
You
it's
always
very
have
hard
something.
for people to get out of their own way because to accept the emotions, they've had to work a long time to accept the hate. So for you to bring love to them, that's a foreign concept. That means I have to deal with all of the other shit that I've tucked away in order for me to receive the love you have for me.
But
Right.
you know what? Remember we had that conversation about the best kind of crystal?
Mm-hmm.
Because, so we were talking about Moldavite.
Oh God. which
Moldavite
is
fucks
so
your
hard
life up to
find.
make you better,
Yes.
right?
That shit is.
I was letting
comparable.
Quantita know we the best kind of crystal.
We are.
Because You have beings that will walk into a space, they will bring a monster out of somebody who seems like they have everything together in their life. And they will start to question. My dad told me my greatest protection ever is that people will speak outside of themselves to let you know who they are, even when they don't even know they're saying it.
Yes.
I'm the mold of light in your life.
They'll question it. Like, why did I just say that? Why did I just tell myself? Because it's necessary and because I'm protected. And because even though this is hard for me to go through, I know in my journey, you have to deal with the fact that this is you. And the worst part for them with individuals like us is when they sit down afterwards, you have nothing to feed on that makes you feel okay with hurting me.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like there's nothing I did.
And I'll ask. I'll say, tell me one thing.
People can't.
You can't. They sit there and they're like,
I just hate you because you think.
Because your energy that. Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, my energy is good. Yours is bad, and they don't know how to accept my good
My
energy.
I
So therefore, you're rejecting it.
Because I didn't answer my phone, so she blocked me from her phone and made a post on Facebook and say, if you try to call my phone, it goes straight to voicemail. Yes, you blocked. I don't have time for you sometime in hold. I'm on a whole nother level, baby. Like, if I don't answer my phone,
Y'all just don't have me
you
working
know
on your
what you
golden,
should,
okay?
right? And I
Please block me.
Yeah, block me.
Yeah. I said, please do.
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't. You think I went back and tried to block her and feed into that? No, you still my friend.
She wanted you to.
She wanted me to.
She was planting the seeds and trying to water it.
It didn't work. Because she already know this is one of the ones like you always got something positive to say.
Why? Like you always got something negative to say.
Right.
She does. Like, no, really,
And then you wonder why things are not going in the direction in which you should have them.
Mhm.
People got to understand you must change you from the inside in order for every time you buy a washer and dryer, that bitch don't break. Every time you buy a car, that bitch don't break. Every time you give it somebody, it's a, like you got to change your fucking shit. You do, because you have to take accountability of how you keep showing up to yourself. We are manifestors. So if you're calling in that kind of energy, what do you expect to have? Oh, I'm going to go over here, but I know ain't shit about to happen. Ain't nothing but bad shit always happen to me. So, you
just spoke everything that's about to happen.
Yeah. There you go.
I have that tendency of applying whatever, because that's the point that I got to, but then I had to apply it to me.
Boom.
And that was my greatest wake-up call. Because as much as the world is feeding them negative, so they're choosing negative. Somehow, my mind is able to see past the negative and choose positive, but I'm feeding on negative as well because I continue to pull in the same energies.
Because when you step out there in the negative,
right,
it's floating.
But I continue to coddle the negative. I can't even give myself that excuse, honestly, governess, because I don't have to bring them in. I don't have to.
But you're a high empath, like we all are.
Right, and so then you see the hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you see what they can't see in themselves.
Yeah.
You're like, well, if anybody can make them see it, it's me.
But when do you stop?
I just want to give you a hug.
When do you stop? Because I'm at the point now, it's like, yes, I want to be that, but my Bible, I was like, you got to know. He always say you got to play chess, and you got to know who's a client to who is real, or who's supposed to be there, who is not, who's in passing. And I'm looking at him like, so. Tell me how. I'm like, I've been doing this all my life.
You have to do it from a distance. You have to do it from a distance. You have to stop craving company so much so that you allow yourself to lack discernment when you're choosing your company.
That part.
A lot of us, as these spiritual beings that are helping others and doing it in a good way and not being from a I'm stuck on myself, type of energy, like the other ones that you were explaining. With us, in this, when we're experiencing this, a lot of us get lonely. And so, who do you know is going to give you more accompaniment? The people that got it together in your life aren't going to do that. They're busy on their own shit.
Yeah.
So they're in passing. And that's what we were talking about when I said I was giving my love to the wrong people.
Yeah.
I should have acted accordingly with the ones who had it together.
Yeah.
And been like, okay, we're on the same path, but I was lonely.
Because we're always trying to.
Right. So I pull in the ones that I know are
yeah.
going to be there that come here, baby. I got you. Like, we're going to work this out. And then before you know it, your world has become their world because they never appreciated the work that you were doing in the first place. What happened?
No,
It's at the back door.
Oh, out that back door. The back, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, through the back door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're lonely. We want company, and we feel like, well, you'll appreciate me even more because I've done for you, but it's never
It's
gonna
never
happen.
that because they don't know to do
Yeah,
that.
they've never been taught it.
They fight against. That's what just happened with Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Every good thing that's being afforded to you, your mind can't comprehend. Why would it be happening to me?
Right.
So therefore, I choose to reject it. So when your haters come in and say that can't be possible for you, you're like, you're right.
Yeah.
She's lying to me. I'm not that great.
Right.
And then you come and sit to me and say, I'm great. And I'm telling you, I know.
Right. Right.
Good morning.
Grand Rising. Oh,
Cortisone. I had
gratitude.
I had knocked on the back door, but I don't think y'all heard me.
Yeah, because she was trying to figure out how to
Get back there. Yeah. So hopefully that helps. Did it help some last night, the Benadryl?
It did, and I'm still kind of sleepy because I did wake up 4 hours and I
Right.
took another one, like
Yeah.
you said. And so I have 2 more, and I'm scared to take it because I'm going to be drowsy.
Take the non-drowsy, the ones you had, the
Yeah.
allergy ones. And I think they're clear.
Yeah.
Take those. Those will kick a little bit of the drowsiness off of you.
Okay. And I bought 3 different ones. I bought this 10, hydrocortisone max, and then Exderma or something.
Yeah. Is it bumps? Let me see. Are
Mm,
they red raised?
They were. Some of them were.
She's online.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Why didn't you tell me?
Right, no, that's how
I'm
like, it's okay, 'cause
transparent.
I know, yeah, she continue to
So sorry. I would not have
Well, no,
known.
you're
So
fine.
I said-
Yeah.
The phone done turned to the
You're
wall.
right.
Sorry, cousin. We're not waiting. Gratitude.
The phone was all upside down, like, whoa, Quintita, where we at?
Yeah, just use if it's not red raised, just use the regular
Okay.
cortisone. That will be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Gratitude.
You're welcome. Sorry about
No,
that.
you're
Yeah.
fine.
That
Yeah.
was so funny.
Yeah, but that's you were speaking on Hannah Montana. Oh, did I just call that?
Yes.
Hannah Montana?
Because he doesn't, people like they fight against what doesn't feel normal. And if your norm has always been chaos, then chaos is what you know, and you're used to activating inside of that. So even when you're in a space of goodness and you still come with that kind of energy where people around you can feel it just off meeting you, nobody wants to be around that. Nobody wants to. But in your mind, you're such a Juicy J constituent. Like you can't even, because of your blocking, your they be so fucking wound up tight.
It's the delusion.
Christians, I ain't lying. Juicy J believes something. They be so wound up so tightly that they're afraid of their own shadow.
Let me tell you something. I had said something to someone about Revelation, right? Chapter 1 and everything, because we discussed it, when we had Bible study. So it made them think. So they asked their mom, you know what I'm saying? So who the mom referred to the dead. Not knowing, I didn't know that the dad was the one that was heavily in church. I thought it was the mama. But when the dad found out and everything, like the dad was ready to put a bullet in it. The dad got mad. I told him, I said, but I thought he's supposed to be holier than thou.
Exactly.
Like, why does he have so much of this hatred built up or towards you
It's
all of
the
a sudden because
energy.
you question something?
It's because they disconnect.
It's the
good morning.
energy.
They
Yeah,
disconnect
right.
you from shit. I brought you some of this.
They
So
this is what I was talking about.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, if you take it out the capsule and put it in your
So
tea,
they
Yeah.
or
disconnect
drink
you
it in a little bit
from
of water,
the
but it
shadow.
helps clean your
That's what I
system
was gonna
Okay.
say.
right away. I didn't know if you wanted some of
Yeah,
that.
I will.
If they
Absolutely.
disconnect you
I was
from
like,
your
let me
shadow,
go give
how
her
do you
some
ever
of these.
fight
And I
it?
got ginger beer.
Right. And I
So you can have some too.
said,
I do like 2 or 3 capsules a day.
Okay. Much
You
gratitude.
feel better?
A little bit. I'm not as itchy as I was.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I was worried.
your
Gratitude.
dad was like, the
Gratitude.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get
Oh, I think your friend just pulled up.
Oh, y'all ain't.
Yeah.
Okay. For your keep.
Hi, happy folks.
Hey, Mike, you done been in the shower and everything.
Yeah, she's coming down.
But yeah,
Um,
his dad was ready to like literally like they got into a art, like he was ready to go down there and really fight his daddy because of the words his daddy was saying, but at the same time he was like, I'm not saying that I'm believing this, I'm just asking a question. Because
Even if he
now-
was
This
believing
is,
it.
but this is what I was just saying to Marshall. In the church, and I was not raised in the church. My daddy didn't. I mean, my grandmother. I went to Bible school with her when I was younger. I know I'm well versed in it. I think you kind of need to be so that you can know
Understand.
the other end of it.
Mhm.
But what I've recognized in the church is you are so disconnected from your shadow. They make sure. But where does our power come in? When we fought back in slavery, even when they say like voodoo and this is all, well, guess what pulled us out of it? Guess what worked from certain
Voodoo.
countries was pulling us out of it? It was
Right.
voodoo.
Mhm.
And they disconnect you from that. They make you scared of it. They show you shows
But they're
and attach-
using it on you.
attach scary music to it that has
Mhm.
low frequency. So
Mhm.
when you experience it yourself, I'm swimming in the lake and I'm hearing Jaws music. Why? Because they program me.
That's
honestly.
right.
So if the church has disconnected you this much from your shadow, you'll hear people say, I don't want to hear nothing about that shadow mess. What you mean? I have to.
Right.
Okay, so don't heal yourself then. And this is why I say everybody can't go.
Yeah.
Because if you can't step outside of yourself long enough to pull out the message that you need for you to learn how to heal yourself and love on yourself, you can't just stay love and light.
And that's why she's now on Let's Have the Conversation.
But yeah, like I said, it's crazy because then like
But
you
that's
said
how he
earlier,
would react
they
with
look at
that.
us like we're crazy,
Yeah.
we're evil, we're this,
But
and
you
that.
ain't even dealt with the depths of yourself. You ain't even
I'ma
looked
forward
in
the
your,
calls
looked
when
at
I finish
yourself
the live.
fully in the mirror. You haven't even gotten there. But I'm
Keisha called.
crazy.
She's excited. We're gonna sit down and schedule a meeting with her.
Why did your dad get so mad at you like that? Why did your dad want to put a bullet in your head? Because he said that his father told him a two-minded person is dangerous.
Listen, I'm watching what's that man's name? Sonetta TV. I'm watching that one day. And he's saying what he wanna say about Juicy J. This man on the street gets so upset. He walking up to him, like bucking at him, like, watch your fucking mouth. Watch your fucking mouth. Like, he can say what he want to say.
Yeah.
That's his thought, his opinion. My spirituality don't have to be your religious. You know, like, hey, when we're breaking down the word religion, we're looking at which is a many. You know, which is a many. And then we're looking at legions. The legions of many. And they tell you this in the Bible when they're talking about the pig and all of the legions. We're talking about religions. We're talking about how they keep you formulated inside of this toxicity with this oppression. You feel that shit when you're in there. Even as a kid, because that shit don't feel right to your soul as a kid. You're in there like, I don't like it in here. I want to go to sleep.
I was like that as an adult. I want to know why I'm not up.
You don't feel it. You're not registering
and
to
then
it.
I'm like this as an adult.
Now you getting slapped in your face, and now you scared to death because you going to hell.
Yeah. And
But
then
that's never it.
It used to always be an argument. And it's like, how the fuck did we go here? And it's supposed to be something rejoiceful and peaceful. But
It
as soon
never
as we
feels
step
that way.
outside the door,
It's something
It feels like
opposite of that.
hatred to me.
So
yeah.
Naila is in homeschool now, based on
Yeah, my kids.
government
too.
saying pull them. So now she did the virtual school, and then they tried to call her and said she had to come and sit with the kids to do testing, and I refused, and I pulled her out of school immediately. The school that she's going to, the homeschool, is Bible based, and at first I was like, oh, well, how are we gonna do this? But then I thought about how I was raised, and I said, I need her to know it, but I need to be present for those conversations, right? That whole concept of the hill and the fighting and walking out those doors and it being something different. One of the sin in this school, right? And they broke it down in regards to sinners go to this horrible place if they don't claim the name of this ultimate being that they revere, right?
They're gonna burn.
So I said to her, I said, 9. And she said, yes, Mom. I said, in other countries, they don't even speak his name. They speak Allah. They speak Buddha. They're not even aware of his existence.
Right.
I said, 9, all of those babies are your age, so are they, if something happens to them today, are they all going to this horrible place? And she said, Mommy, why would they ever say something like that? Because there's things that I don't know.
Mhm.
Just like when she learned the story of Adam and Eve, which I wouldn't have sat her down to teach her this, so that's why I'm saying there's a reason for everything. When she learned the story, I also right after played the gentleman that's in Egypt that does the tours in Egypt, Ashra Kwesi, I believe is his name. And I want to go on this tour so bad because he breaks down the actual Bible stories that are on the wall, like the Garden of Eden.
Which is Adina.
Ashe. So he breaks down in there that, well, I asked her first, I said, what do you think about the story that you just heard with Adam and Eve? She said, I go in the backyard and pick mangoes off the tree all the time.
Right.
That's how she's putting it together in her mind. Grandma and Grandpa, would they ever put me out because I took a mango off of their tree? Even if they told me not to pick it?
Right.
And I said, no, because we live in love, I'm going to choose love every time first, but we also know how to bring out them shadows and swords if
Right.
necessary. If somebody who doesn't deserve to come to that tree tries to
Right.
pick off of any of this.
Right.
So then I played her Ashra Kwesi's version. And when he shows you, I don't know if you've ever seen the video, I'll give you the link afterwards. He shows you the tree of life on the pyramids in Egypt. And he says the difference with us and them is that there is no born into evil with them. With their spirituality, you're born into greatness.
Oh.
And the tree of life is actually, the story is that the masculine and feminine, divine feminine pulled the tree to give the divine masculine all of the knowledge that he needed to rule in his
Because
greatness.
trees are living beings, which is what we started this live on saying.
Ashe.
Made them murderers.
So when you think of that, now the next thing for me, because Nye is like, I choose that one. I like that one better. So I'm like, okay. I go to Ro and I sat with him and I said, babe, as I'm receiving this download, having this conversation with Naila, I realized to myself, what the fuck if we was born with that idea? That we were born, there's no born into evil. There's no born into having to gain forgiveness or striving your whole life to
'Cause-
finally become something. Because even, how are you going to tell me that you punished me by giving me a cycle
You're
if my
always-
cycle births life?
You're fucked as soon as you're born via that concept. So you're always striving to be something that you already are because they've already told you that you aren't. So you're not even good enough to get to that concept unless you do XYZ, which is fucking hard because they're going to put these other temptations and other things around you that's going to make sure that you don't ever reach that pinnacle. Like, this shit is false. Ugh, nothing but. You are amazing as soon as you come through the canal into this physical realm of the matrix. Like, and so they know how to control it because they're the controllers and the makers of it, which have trapped us inside of our minds, inside of these physical vessels. Your consciousness are stuck.
Absolutely. Even down to how they disconnect women from themselves in the process that we are more than likely supposed to go through that they call postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression.
Yeah.
My son had said to me the other day, he was talking about this young lady that he's speaking to that he's interested in. And he got in the car with me and he was like, we were talking about our moms and her experience is a lot different from his, but she's gained a lot of knowledge from that, and things that he may not have had because his has been a little bit more lenient with me. But he's like, after having a baby, he starts that conversation. And I said, but do you realize even more than that what we as women have to go through? Because he was talking about all of the great things that women are, right? And I said, do you realize something else that we should be acknowledged for? I said, I, as your mother, bring things from the spiritual into the physical through my physical vessel.
Absolutely. We're portals.
So if we are portals connecting in that manner, don't you think, if you go on a roller coaster, you get off and you get dizzy.
Right.
What you think your body's supposed to go through after you literally bring something from out of thin air into physical existence?
Exactly.
We're magicians.
Magicians all the
We
way.
got magical.
And then that means we have to have patience for ourselves too.
Yes.
It's not a sickness. It's not an illness. Imagine if we came to postpartum depression from that state of mind. Not a sickness, not an illness, but something that we as a tribe have to. If Maya just had a baby and we know that this may possibly happen. I'm sorry, Maya. I'm sorry, Maya. I'm sorry. I'm not calling that in for you. But
Maya,
let's say that happened, right? Okay. As a village, I need to be checking on my good sis.
Yeah.
I need to know and remind you that you are not crazy for what you're going through because now you're gonna say it to yourself so much. Your delusion is gonna become your reality.
Yeah.
Your abnormal is gonna become your normal. And I won't be able to convince you out of crazy. But if instead I say you're gonna feel tired, you're gonna feel hurt, you're gonna feel offended. Come and talk to me. I'm here. I'm showing up, knocking at your door. Malika, why are you here again? I came to cook you breakfast, sis. Hey, you want me to come pick up the kids today? You want me to take them? You get what I'm saying? Like,
You
if
know,
you had those things.
Malika, yesterday I just had a client and she's telling me I'm so overwhelmed with this and that. Spirit keeps saying she has postpartum. I said, you have postpartum? How old is your baby? She said, 7 months. And people got to run into the store. Her dude is in jail. Like she's with his house. She's trying to keep his businesses afloat. Like nobody's recognizing she's drowning.
Right.
She's drowning.
And that's where I say, is it postpartum deep rest or are you in is it postpartum depression or are you in postpartum needing deep rest?
Yes. You just need some rest. You need somebody to be human enough to say, go lay down. I got these kids. Go lay down. I got this. Let me help you.
To a sense of calm.
Absolutely.
Because the equilibrium, that state is where you find your best self. I had somebody that questioned like how we see the existence of that. Like, why do we feel like, how do we dismiss the chaos? And I opened up a journal page that I had from a long time ago. And the way that I broke it down was so beautiful to me. Reading it now, I needed to hear it. Because, okay, let's say you're over a body of water. We all know what water does for us, right? It gathers intention, it holds emotions.
That's why Spirit said we should be in there. Even postpartum, get in the
Absolutely.
water.
Absolutely. Even in Hawaii, they do deliveries with dolphins in the water. And they've shut down those locations. But those babies that are birthed with dolphins in the water in Hawaii, their level of skill and intellectual and intuitive abilities is higher than most in their generation. But they've shut down these facilities that do dolphin births. Anyway, aside from that, imagine you look into a pond, right? Still water. You see your reflection. I can't physically touch my reflection, but I see it. I know it's there. I know I can have a conversation with it. When my mouth moves, its mouth moves, right? A boat passes. A rock gets thrown in the water. It ripples. You lose your reflection. But is it really gone?
No.
Right.
But when do you get it back?
It's just a
When
story.
the water comes back to a calm.
Yeah.
When the water comes back to a still. So how do you see yourself in your true potential? And
Girl, distortion. Come
Let
through,
the water
Malika.
come still. You gotta have the
Why I
ripple
look like
flow.
Grandpa James? Oh, God.
From Rupert, we went from the mechanic to Grandpa James. The water has to get back still for you to be able to find yourself.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we will get upset that the water rippled. Well, if the water rippled, those things that needed to get to the shore would have never gotten there. If it didn't ripple.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You would have never known that you have to be able to you have to still be able to stay connected even when you can't see that reflection of yourself and the world tries to disconnect you.
Miss Yali just
There's
joined
so
us.
much.
She's here now.
There's so much. There's so much to it. And this is why I like spaces like this and I look forward to the retreat that you all are holding. Because
We're at a retreat. This is dope. It just was sporadic because she was coming and then we got to come too.
no, but I'm happy that you all are here. I'm very happy that you all
Yeah,
are here.
this is an amazing conversation. I really want everybody to take from this. The elements are living, and we have to, like the Orisha, are living, and we have to be kind to not only one another, but to our energy, to our atmosphere, to the elements, to outside, because they are living. I hug trees. People look at me like I'm crazy. I don't give a shit. I will hug a tree in a minute. And I'm going to absorb their energy, and they talk just like the stars and the constellations. They speak. Right, Yehuda. Everything is living, and we must come to it as if it is such. And so we have been so programmed to disrespect the earth and the elements and the living beings. Why would you have respect for each other? You can't even respect the air that you breathe.
Right. That part. Facts.
So my phone is getting ready to die. But okay then. Okay. I need to go to Walmart.
All right.
I got jeans and a t-shirt.
Immediately.
But I don't want my phone to die, but I wanted y'all to be a part of this conversation. So you could have taken this in your early day today to be able to just chew on that. You know, have a beautiful day, y'all. Gratitude, family. Peace.